All right. Thank you for everyone for joining me on Bridges Live. We're back here on Bridges Live. I'm Dr. Paul. And you can always reach me at drpaulwdyer@gmail.com, or you can always inbox me here and any of my social media. I usually fall under Dakota Dragon Defense, and you can find me on my YouTube channel, Dr. Paul W. Dyer, Grandmaster. And we're here back with some defense experts here in Maryland because all of us here believe in the preparation action and yet the understanding of why we need to be prepared. So Ishmel, please tell us where you're coming from and welcome back to Bridges Live to talk about defense and safety and taking care of each other and taking care of others. Thank you, man.
Hey, thank you, Dr. Dyer. My name is Ishmel Josiah, owner of Ingenuity Security Solutions. Here we believe in equipping and training fellow citizens on how to defend themselves, whether it's by handgun, whether it's also by self-defense. And I have my partner here, Charles. He will talk more about his aspect. Um, as you cautiously reminded me last time we met, I'm a husband, I'm
That's
a
right.
father, and
Man,
I love I
you know,
love training and equipping our people.
the one thing we can't forget is a lot of people ask me about all my training and all the things I've done. They're like, why do you do it? Or how come you do it? And I said, because I love life, but I also see the life I love. So there are two different distinct things: loving life and and having the life you love. You want to take care of that. And that's something that just is in my mind. Now I know Charles and Ishmael, you military Marine, and we're not going to tease him too much for being a Marine because we know how they are. They're very sensitive and they're very sensitive about being Marines, and they couldn't handle the Army, and I understand that, and I get it. But besides all that, we realize, and I know everyone doesn't have to join the military to realize that they have a proponent of protection in their life, and you have to protect the things you care most about. Charles, let's talk about that and why that is so important, that we have to understand why we are here to love, to live, and to protect the things we want to love and live for.
Yes, sir. Well, there's a lot to that. For me,
Wait a
I
minute.
have
I work for a living. Don't ever call me a sir in your life.
oh,
I
that's that respect thing. That's that Marine Corps. I mean, it's respect. It's respect. So I apologize for that. I might call you Mr. Dyer there. It's
there you
just
go.
what it is. All right, Mr. Dyer. I have three beautiful girls, right? Ages 10, 11, and 12. There and you have one 7-year-old, or you have seven kids?
I have 7 girls.
Oh, oh.
Wait a minute.
Okay. Okay.
I have 9 kids.
Oh, okay. So So you can emphasize exactly what I'm talking about. I got to equip these young ladies for when I'm not around. I'm not going to be here for them all the time. And like I said, what I see on the news, what you hear about from other friends who have loved ones who've been in certain situations, it saddens me. And going through the Marine Corps, I used to box also in the Marine Corps, so I have a boxing background, and I pretty much know how to handle myself. And I have confidence within myself. And I want that same confidence for others to have, because most predators, they stalk people who look like victims, right? People who walk with their heads down, who are not paying attention, who's not aware of their surroundings and stuff like that. And a lot of the classes that I teach, when I talk to them, it's mostly women because of my girls. So I like to teach women, but I also teach men because I bring their boyfriends or their husbands along with them. And I want them to get a variant of different size men, short, tall, husky, and stuff like that. So they know that these different techniques can work on anyone. But to hear their stories and their testimonies is awesome, because I normally ask them to give a testimony and tell me, what situations have you ever been in where you had to defend yourself? And some of them would share things like, I was abused, or I was, going to a grocery store. Somebody came up and tried to snatch my bag. So I asked them, how did you handle it? What did you do to handle yourself? And then they'll think about it for a very long time, and they'll tell me, well, I tried to knee him, or I tried to kick him and stuff like that. And that's okay. But if most of you I speak with, I give them this analogy, that movie Enough with J-Lo in it. And I know you know about Krav Maga, where her husband used to beat up on her, used to abuse her. But when she learned some self-defense, she turned the tables on him. And I try to teach, whether it's a man or a woman, you don't want to sit there and fight with your assailant. You want to buy yourself time to get away and call for help.
Get some time.
And the thing that most people have going for them is the element of surprise. If you can fight back with strategic technique, you can definitely buy yourself time to get away. And that's what you want. And if it's fight or flight and you have to protect your kids, you have your kids with you, then you have to do what you have to do. But, everyone, I teamed up with Ishmel or Josiah because he has the firearm aspect, but everyone's not going to be able to carry a concealed carry with them. So you got to be able to use their hands, knees, elbows, fists, everything. Everything on your body can be used as a weapon to help yourself out.
One of the things, even teaching the concealment and then the hand stuff, you first have to use your head. I always say the first weapon is your head. That's it. If you don't develop that first weapon, you have to develop that first weapon. Your second weapon is your hands and your feet, because as we don't carry in certain areas of the United States, it's not an open carry. And even if it's an open carry, most of the holsters are a 3-lock system or a 2-lock system, because you just don't want anyone to take it haphazardly, right? So for you to get to that lock system, you still got to use your hands and feet. So even in all the training we've done or taught, you still got to get to your hands and feet to get this before you could pull this. So those things are still all important, because either the falling technique where you get pushed and you still got to use your hands and your feet. So they will always mesh, but yet it's still all up here first. Just
and even before then, one more thing. Even before then, and this is what Josiah uses a lot in class, and he tells people, it's a verbal judo that he uses.
Yeah.
Before you even come to this, and before you got to come to that, if you can use this and talk your way out and make that person, feel like, ask me, do we have to do this? Is there something I do? I apologize. We don't have to do this. Whatever I did to offend you, and try to walk away from it if we can.
Right.
I'd rather do that before I have to use any of this or, any other type of. But yeah, I'm sorry, Josiah.
Oh no, you stole it right out of my mouth. But but like Dr. Dyer, as you said, it starts in the mind. Like, are you prepared? It's not like I always say in class, I'd rather be prepared and not need anything that I'm preparing for than just be caught. Because none of us want to be caught surprise, out of the blue, somebody surprised. Nobody likes to be surprised. Right. So the mindset is, I'm always walking with the mindset that something might happen. And if it doesn't happen, thank God it doesn't happen, and I'm fine. Right. But rather to be caught blindsided, and now you found wanting, and you found it in a needy position. Nobody wants to be in a position of being needy or not knowing, helpless, not knowing what to do. So the mindset, always starts in the mindset. Are you prepared to do what you have to do to get home? Are you prepared to do what you have to do to keep you and your loved ones safe? So,
and one of those things about keeping your loved ones safe, it's a planned action. There's a conversation we must have as a family about when something happens, you are to do this. Now, if you have not had that conversation, you're doing your family an injustice. What do you think about that, Charles?
I agree with that. I agree. You have to have safety plans. Like, Josiah, we go through this too, and especially with my kids, we have code words.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody breaks into the house. I can say a regular sentence, but in that sentence, I'm going to have a code word and they'll know what to do. And things like that. Certain places to go in the house. If I'm upstairs and somebody breaks in, you need to know where to go if you're in a certain part of the house. If we're downstairs, stuff like that. So it's just like having a fire safety plan. If a fire breaks out in the house, where do you go to evacuate? So those type of things are very essential. And whether you're doing self-defense or, trying to leave your house in case of a fire, you have to be able to communicate with your kids or your family members so they know what to do.
I've trained this with my kids. They practiced it. I used to throw those alarms at them. They used to go to their spaces when someone breaks in the house. If I hear it from my bedroom, I would yell it out, and they would get to their spots, right? And I tell them there's certain ways you're released from your spot by another word. You do not come, and I tell you how nutso I am. I had did it for 15 hours and my kids stayed in spot. 15 hours and they were 5, 4, 3 years old. 15 hours, they never moved from their spot.
That's discipline there. That's discipline there.
And that's tough for young kids to do, thinking what's happening. And mommy and I were quiet. I wanted them to feel like this was it. They were alone. But I also tell them, I will come get you.
And that's going to be the biggest challenge, though. That's going to be the biggest challenge. It's not the hiding part, but to keep them quiet, because they're going to want to talk. They're going to want to conversate. The thing is, they got to be quiet, and that discipline, it's everything. So especially starting at a young age will help out.
As we know in the military, discipline saves lives, but also saving lives is a discipline.
Yep.
And the other thing about that is this is where training comes in. Now, Josiah, you have a training coming up recent, but you actually can have it more often. Tell us about the training you provide to start that training process.
So this weekend, not this weekend, on the 20th of February, we have a Hql Class, which is what you need in the state of Maryland to purchase a handgun, right? So in this class, what we go over what first and foremost, what do you need for purchasing? What do you need for storage? What do you need as far as safety wise? And also we go over the fundamentals. It's a lot of people that are coming and they've never shot a handgun. They've never even seen or handled one. So we go over the basic fundamentals, stance, breathing, everything that it takes for you to be proficient. In class, we always state that this is a relationship that you about to get into. It's the relationship, because in every relationship, you have to be intentional about what you're about to do, right? And in this relationship, we all have responsibility in this relationship. So we start with our students from the ground all the way up. We're going to scoot, crawl, and eventually when we're done with class, hopefully they'll be able to walk. And if they can't do it on their own, it's a continuous relationship between us and them that, hey, I want to shoot some more. I want to get more training, and they will call us and we'll get with them. So on the 20th, we have a Maryland Hql class, which is the beginning. Here in the state of Maryland, if you want to proceed on and get like your concealed carry, you need this class to be able to purchase first. And then the next 8 hours that follows to make it a 16-hour class that's when we go into the mindset. Walking around, you can never be complacent. Complacency kills. So being in the mindset that, hey, anything can happen any and everywhere, and being prepared to do stuff to protect yourself or to defend yourself and the people around you. So that's what we got going on. Another class that we do is, like Charles said, you cannot carry a gun everywhere. So we also do the handcuff OC. No, we do the baton and the OC training, because those are stuff that you can pepper spray, stand gun. Those are stuff that you can carry places. It's legal. You can take places with you. And they're portable enough to have on you. The idea is to buy yourself time. The idea is to buy yourself, to save yourself time to disengage and get help, right? Because something we always say in class is better than nothing. If you don't do anything, then you left yourself vulnerable to be taken advantage of. But
Now,
if you have something, you're able to do something to protect yourself and also serve as a shock or surprise to your attacker.
both of you have children.
Yes,
We know
sir.
now, we know now, you guys know I have 9 children, and statistically 1 out of 4 people are going to be attacked. That's statistics. Out of my 7 girls so far, 3 have been attacked. And my girls who have been on other shows with me have talked about why they believe that the things they had learned saved them and saved their lives. Now, I am tired of almost giving these testimonials for feel like you say, you know what? I guess I should protect my life and protect what God gives me, and that's a gift to me, and I can give to someone else, like my husband or whoever I want to mate with, that I want to give freely and not have some person try to take it away from me. Yeah, I think I will protect that. It actually astounds me that people don't think of their lives worth saving. Charles, have you come across that just makes you go, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Oh, there you go, sir. Yes,
That's
I have. The thing, I know I have it. The thing is, what I think it is when I talk to these people, whether it's men or women, they say to themselves, they would never think it would happen to them.
Right.
And I turn around and tell them that's the same thing the person said who's no longer with us.
Hope is not a plan.
It's not by, and when I talk to these people, I say it's not by chance that we've met right now and we're having this conversation, because I believe everything happens for a reason. Mm-hmm. Right. And if you bypass this dialogue or this communication and don't give it thought, then heaven forbid, if something like that happens, the first thing you're going to probably think about is this conversation that we had where you could have received some type of self-defense. It doesn't have to be from me.
Right.
It should be from someone. You have to learn it somewhere. And whether you box, whether you did kickboxing, whether you did wrestling, something. It's because, the one thing that I do ask the women, if somebody comes behind you and push you in a chokehold, what are you going to do? And they're sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, it's too late.
That's too late.
It'll take me 3-4 seconds. You out. You done. I got you in the car. Then I say, okay, when you go to a barbecue and you about to chow down on that hamburger and you got some gnats all in your face, what's the first thing you do? Right? That's the first thing you do. I said, that was a reflex. You just did it and you didn't have to think about it. That's how you need to be when you walk down the street and somebody puts their hand on your shoulder. You don't know them. So your first position is not to be like this, to like to jump. You need to have a defense. I can't get it come off, but you know what I'm saying? You got to be in a posture facing your opponent, be like, hey, I don't know you, So things, that relationship that Josiah was talking about, where when you take his class, it's a relationship. It's the same thing when you practice your martial arts of self-defense. If you don't practice, it's not going to be instinctive. You're not going to know what to do. So you really got to practice it. You got to get into it. I encourage everyone to watch that movie, especially the women, Enough, because J-Lo did take that Krav Maga class in real life, and that's some real impactful stuff. They go through close quarter combat, and most things happen is close quarters. If somebody's going to shoot you, they're going to shoot you from a distance. Ain't nothing you can do about it. But if you're in arm's reach of me or in feet reach of me, you got a problem, because you don't know. If I didn't tell you, and if you didn't tell me, I didn't know you was a 6-degree black belt. Now, if I put my hands on you, I'm going to know it is or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to know it is, but it's too late. It's too late. And I'm sure you're going to use your verbal judo. Listen, I'm going to give you a couple of change. Hey, look, whatever I did, I apologize. But if I keep coming at you, so those things there, and it's so surprising. You can ask Josiah, when I do demonstrations at the training at the Hql classes, right, during breaks. I just give them a couple of things to look at, and they're so surprised because I go through wrist locks, joint locks, legs. I mean, it's so many maneuvers. All the pressure points around the body, and they're so surprised. I just get my little finger and press, and they're like, I'm like, ow. I'm like, I didn't even do that. So imagine if I did this. They're like, oh, I want to take your class. I was like, yeah, it doesn't take a lot of force. It's not a lot of force.
What
It's just technique.
what it does take is you wanting to live.
Yeah.
Yes.
It may not take much action, but it takes you wanting to live.
That mental.
And if you and I want to hear people say it out loud. I don't care about living. I'll leave you alone. I'll never ask you another question again. I'll move on. Really. But I want you, when people see this and hear this and talk about this, I want people to ask themselves, say, have I ever asked myself, do I want to live? And I don't want to like, of course I do. No, that's not a real answer. Now, what would you take to live for it?
So in the class, I always stress to students that, hey, I mean, if no one ever in your life has ever stressed to you that you're important, in this class, you are. Because at the end of the day, my will to live, my will to be here for my wife and kids and for my loved ones, for those who are going to miss me when I'm gone, is bigger to the extent that when it's my life or the life of a bad person's, I'm going home.
Right.
I'm winning. And my will to win is bigger. It's super, no matter how big, tall, how strong. My will to live, the animal in me to live, to get home to my loved ones is far greater than yours. So I'm winning with all course. So that's what we
it's not how big the dog is in the fight. It's how big the fight is in the dog. Yeah. It's that thing. It don't make a difference. It's like you said, it's in his. Hey, I'm winning. I'm going back home to my family.
And I tell you, I've been in situations where I rose the question to the person, and their will to live is also very great, and they also can have a second chance of like, this is going to cost me something, either death or imprisonment. So you have a choice. And people have chose. That's why I'm sitting here today. People have chose, and they're not in prison, and they're not dead, because they've chose to say, I'm not doing this. Whether they say I'm not doing this right now or today, that is not my issue. But they made a choice because you had to get them thinking about their life too. Because if they think I'm going to roll over like some roll, no, we all dying or we all going to jail. Pick one.
So that's why I always state I always come from that verbal judo, non-unassuming aspect. Hey, brother, whatever, even if you stepped on my toes, I'm apologizing to you.
Yeah,
hey,
I'm
man,
sorry.
I'm bad for stepping. Because at the end of the day, it's not cowardly for me to find a peaceful way out of a situation. You know, it's not cowardly for me to say, hey, it's not worth it. You go home to the people that love you, that care about you, just like I'm going home. But at the end of the day, I've done everything. Retreating from that situation doesn't make me a coward. But then if the assailant persist and want to find out, you're going to find out. But till then, I'm always going to be at peace. Be at peace with all men, right? Until you unlock that other side. I'm smiling. But standing in front of you saying hi, hey, I've thought of ways to get myself out of that situation, to get to my loved one. I am not going to come pick a fight. I will never pick a fight. But if you pick a fight and I try to avoid it and you persist, you will find out. So, it's just that mindset and just being humble and carrying yourself in a certain way, just because you can fight.
And that's one thing I really enjoy and like about Josiah's class, this Hql class, is because he stresses that. Because you are carrying a firearm or because you are a 6th degree or 5th degree black belt doesn't mean you need to go pick fight.
Right. You
need to go looking for trouble. It takes a stronger man or woman to walk away from something like that, from that confrontation. It does, like you said, it doesn't make you weak. It makes me more confident. Because actually I hold myself to a higher standard because I know what I know. Right. if like Josiah said, if somebody steps in my foot or somebody bumps me, really hard, I'm like, all right, but I apologize. I'm gonna give them I'm gonna try to back away as much as I can before the altercation, comes about. Because once I get into the altercation, it ain't gonna be pretty. That the Marine Corps might come out in
me. One of the things I had, I've been kicking the can. I don't know if we're ever going to have it, because we've actually only had one president that's been trained in hand combat. Do you know who that was?
President of the United States, president, or president of
No, president of the United States. We don't even have one.
Wasn't it Kennedy?
No.
Was it Kennedy?
Abraham Lincoln.
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 Okay.
Lincoln was a wrestler.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. He didn't look it. He don't look it.
But my problem is that I actually believe, and this comes from that passion of what I have of martial arts and life, that I think we need a president or a person who's a leader to be a martial artist, or a person who's in defense training, because they care more about life. They give more. They cherish things more. And it's not because it's what you said, Charles. I think I'm able to care and love more because I know what I know, and I'm able to care. So I'm able to do to care. I'm not afraid to care. And I think the things you teach in Josiah, the things you're teaching, Charles, is absolutely amazing. I know our country needs it. I know our community needs it. I know people need it, but it's funny they don't feel like they need it themselves. And that's okay, because we're here to help them with that. And we hopefully this continues to let people know that you are not alone. Don't be afraid, and don't live in fear, but be prepared.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, proper planning, right? So if I've thought about it, if I've planned, when I'm in the situation, it's second nature. It's like it's part of me. It's like Charles did. When you are the cooker and you chowing down that burger, and you got a gnats or something flying, instinctively you're gonna. So if I've planned, if I've prepared, God forbid, if I'm in a situation, it's second nature, I don't gotta think about it. The snap factor is gone. I'm not caught by surprise. I've already been living in this reality that something is gonna happen. So now that it's happening, right away, I'm in my natural way of being. That's where the relationship comes in. If you're in a relationship, being married, I got to know what makes my wife laugh. I got to make what makes my wife angry. And I got to make sure I don't cross that line, right? So if I know. When you know what you're doing, what you're about, God forbid you're in that situation, it's natural way of being. It's part of you. You just flow right into it and you don't hesitate. Because hesitation.
How can people get a hold of you, Josiah?
All right. So they can check us out on Instagram at Ingenuity SS LLC. They can check us out on Facebook at Ingenuity Security Solutions LLC. Also, our website is www.ingenuitysecurity.solutions.com, and they can email us at ingenuityssllc@gmail.com. If they can't get us all the way, they can call us. Our number is 240-685-8235. And we'll get right back to them.
And we got to say, if you don't call and like Charles said, I agree with you. You don't have to get trained by me. You don't have to get trained by you, but get trained.
Yeah.
And do not think that you are not able to train. I also always want to wipe that out of, like, I don't think I'm healthy enough. I don't think I'm fit enough. I don't think I'm smart enough. I don't think that stuff you really do have to push out of your head, because we cannot knock on your door and say, come train with me. We're not going to do it. First of all, we don't know who you are. Right? So you got to at least take the first step and make a step. So
and reach out. And like what the beauty about what we do is, it's not just we're not just leaving it like saying, oh, you got to come to the building. Hey, if you got a group of people and you cannot make it, because we all know the situation that we're in with COVID, right? The training can be brought to you, because at the end of the day, I want you to train in your comfort zone. I want you to train where you're spending most of your time, because if anything is going to happen, it will happen where we spend most of our time. So if you're in your natural habitat and you're comfortable, there's the added bonus where, hey, if it happens here, I already got my plans, my strategies, and everything together. So it just flow right into it. The training is catered to what you want it to be, how you want it, how you want to make it. Yeah.
And Charles, you with is it Josiah, or you also have your own training facility too?
Yeah, I'm with Josiah right now because of the COVID. I was training, most of the training I was doing at the Capitol Clubhouse at the World's Gym on top of the Capitol Clubhouse in Waldorf, Maryland. But because of the COVID, things have slowed down a lot. But we do things outdoors. Well, it's too cold now, but 50, 60 degree weather, if we can do stuff outdoors. I really like training, especially in the springtime when it's outdoors in the parks and stuff like that, because it's not just self-defense, it's fitness. I teach fitness and self-defense. Because there's no use in, applying a good technique and you run, 20 yards and you out of breath, right? And then the person you're saying, exactly, time out.
Hold on, wait. Time out. Okay, give me one more try.
I know, right? So, and it's fun too. We have a good time. It's fun, and like you said, Josiah said, it's not just a one-time training thing. It's a relationship. If you guys ever want to come back and do some one-on-one, if you want to do something with your girlfriend or you have a sorority or something like that, it's all good. And I train in weapons, cane, guns, everything you can think of. I have an answer for it. Now, I will say this. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it again. You have to, when I mean by that, you have to train in uncomfortable situations. So if it ever happens, you be comfortable. You can't train in your best scenario all the time, because that best scenario is not going to happen all the time. So if something else happens, and that's why I train in different martial art disciplines. It's almost like Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do, right? My one discipline, Tang Soo Do, may work in certain situations, but then my Hot Mood and my Taekwondo and my McMat and Krav Maga and stuff like that can work in other situations. Even Kung Fu, and so all the disciplines can bring something. So with that,
I'm third generation under Jeet Kune Do. I'm third generation.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, so you with the Wing Chun?
Yeah.
Charles, we got to take a trip.
So I want to take. We taking a trip on his. Hey, I want to learn some stuff from you, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I'm learning as much. I want to learn as much as I can.
And then under Wing Chun, I'm actually fifth generation on the Ip Chun.
Oh, yeah. There we go. There you go. There you go. Yes.
So God bless, brothers. Yeah. Do what you do. We do this more and more. I love getting the word out about people's safety and love and passion.
Wow.
Because it's about keeping people safe and happy. So absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, but Josiah, we're going to hook that up. I want to do some training right there.
We're here because it's family now. It's family on, right?
Yeah.
So you guys be safe, be careful, take care of love, take care of life, and then blessings to both of you and your families.
And once again, thank you for the opportunity for sharing your platform with us. We're going to meet in person. So